Awkward moment. Carney's speech linking Muslim values to Canada stuns the audience. Mark Carney took the stage at an Eid reception and offered an emotional tribute to unity and shared values. He invoked Abraham and Ishmael, foundational figures in our religious traditions, to underscore Canada's strength through diversity. For a moment, his eloquence appeared sincere, even cinematic, a polished politician painting a hopeful vision. But that moment of resonance has since been overshadowed by scandals in his own cabinet and deep policy controversies, turning heartfelt words into potential distractions from internal dysfunction. Behind the scenes, Manitoba's Rebecca Chartrand, just elevated to cabinet by Carney, has come under fire for toxic behavior. A 2019 investigation by Red River College revealed she had created an abusive workplace culture. That third-party review documented incidents of constant intimidation, humiliating micromanagement, veiled job threats, and crushing workloads aimed at an employee who had questioned an Indigenous self-assessment survey she spearheaded. That survey raised eyebrows and anger. It included intrusive questions about emotional trauma, alcohol and drug use, and personal coping. Critics warned it reinforced harmful stereotypes about Indigenous peoples. Rather than address the concerns, Chartrand allegedly retaliated against the whistleblower, undermining her responsibilities and imposing unreasonable deadlines. Despite this alleged pattern of abuse, Carney promoted her to Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs. Was this an oversight, or did political priorities outweigh moral considerations? During the campaign, when Chartrand's past was raised by conservative critics, she responded with a Facebook post condemning the critic as engaged in lateral violence and demanding personal data. That post was deleted, and her team issued a tepid apology that she regrets the tone. Rather than quell damage, the incident renewed outrage. It sparked fresh doubts about Carney's crony appointments and his willingness to overlook documented toxic behavior in his own ranks. While Carney's words highlighted unity, the government's immigration policies paint a radically different picture. Over 500,000 international students and nearly 180,000 temporary foreign workers entered Canada during the ongoing housing crisis. Meanwhile, more than 1 million people are in the country with expired or expiring permits. No plan exists to regularize or deport. To the Liberals, this is an act of global leadership and an economic short-term fix. To critics, it's a system that profits from foreigners, while Canadians struggle to afford rent or secure stable jobs. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre has been the loudest voice calling out this strategy. He describes it as policy that prioritizes foreign tuition and corporate profit over Canadian stability. Students, he says, are being exploited as revenue sponges. Workers from abroad are used as low-wage labor, while Canadian workers are marginalized. Housing and healthcare systems groan under the strain, yet ministers defend this flurry of approvals, austerity disguised as humanitarianism. At the same time, Carney's team has fast-tracked Bill C-2, the Strong Borders Act, positioning it as a tool to secure Canada's borders. But hidden within our sweeping surveillance powers, authorities may open mail, track devices, access personal data, and restrict cash transactions, all without usual safeguards. When paired with Bill C-63, Canada edges toward what many call an unregulated surveillance state, where everyday law-abiding citizens lose privacy protections. Internet service providers and telecoms face gag orders. Forced disclosure of private, encrypted communications is possible. Civil rights advocates warn these laws redefine public safety into mass oversight of innocent Canadians. Instead of judicial oversight, convenience wins. Instead of transparency, opacity rules. Ironically, the justification is child safety and border integrity, but the collateral damage is people's civil liberties themselves. Some defenders argue that these laws will assist law enforcement in serious investigations, from child exploitation to violent extremism. That narrow scope is easy to endorse. But critics point out that once these tools exist, they are too easily repurposed to monitor protesters, critics, even journalists, creating a chilling effect on democratic debate. A law intended for national security becomes a lever of political control. During his Eid address, Carney embraced shared spiritual heritage and national unity. But such lofty symbolism rings hollow if the government it represents tolerates abusive ministers, laissez-faire immigration that burdens systems, and surveillance bills that erode civil freedoms. The dissonance is stark. Words of inclusivity are undermined by actions that concentrate power and deprioritize transparent governance. Pierre Poilievre seized on every contradiction. He described the speech as all optics, no accountability, and has campaigned hard against each policy misstep. He demands full vetting of cabinet members, suggests halting mass approvals of student visas until housing stabilizes, and wants surveillance bills reviewed by a national privacy commission. His appeal resonates. Canadians express fatigue with rhetoric that isn't backed by responsible action. Mark Carney is a technocrat of impressive pedigree, a former central banker with global experience and a reputation for rational crisis management. But technical competence doesn't inoculate against governing missteps. A polished speech echoing unity isn't enough when cabinets harbor toxic leaders and policies threaten public trust. If Carney truly believes in shared values, he must act accordingly, raising expectations well beyond mere words. Time is running out. The Eid moment might have stunned audiences, but lasting impact requires tough responses. Address the allegations against Chartrand. Review and reform immigration flow. Repeal or revise surveillance powers in Bill C2 and C63. If Carney does none, the public may see his speech not as unity, but as a theatrical backdrop to deeper fractures. At its heart, this isn't just a cabinet saga or a piece of policy. It's about credibility. Do Canadians want good optics or genuine integrity? Carney's speech promised so much. Canadians now demand that substance follow symbolism. The real test lies in restoring trust in action, because without it, unity remains just a speech.